Breaking news! A major upheaval is happening inside the Ravens headquarters, one that could trigger a drastic change in Baltimore's future. One of the leading coaching candidates is in the building, decisions are being made behind closed doors, and a potential power play involving Lamar Jackson is quietly forming. The Ravens may be on the verge of a controversial, game-changing decision, but are they making the right choice? But before we dive into this explosive situation, don't forget to like this post if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you want, comment "Go Ravens" below. Let's flood the chat with that purple energy. Right now, Jesse Minter is inside the Ravens building, and that's not just a casual visit. He's interviewing for the head coaching position, and he hasn't left yet. That alone is fueling speculation. The Ravens are clearly giving him a long look. The big question is, will they make an offer now or wait until next week when they can meet with other hot names still coaching in the playoffs? This isn't just about picking a coach. It's about the entire future of the franchise. Baltimore could move quickly and lock down Minter, a guy who's drawn comparisons to Mike Macdonald in both philosophy and success. If they believe Minter is their guy, why risk losing him to another team? Because make no mistake, other teams are interested. Minter has completed other interviews and is in demand. If Baltimore doesn't act, someone else might. But the Ravens are known for being methodical. They've already spoken with other candidates like Anthony Weaver, and they're eyeing names like Clint Kubiak, Davis Webb, and Chris Shula, all still busy with postseason duties. Waiting might expand their options, but it also opens the door to losing their current top target. It's a classic risk versus reward scenario, and this front office is right in the middle of it. And this isn't just about defense anymore. Reports from Diana Rossini say Lamar Jackson is involved, actively. He's not sitting this one out. While not physically in the building, Lamar is zooming into meetings, offering opinions, and has made it very clear who he wants calling plays: Cliff Kingsbury. Yes, Cliff Kingsbury, the same offensive mind who helped Kyler Murray shine in Arizona and turned college quarterbacks like Johnny Manziel and Jaden Daniels into stars. According to Rossini, Lamar and Ravens receivers have been vocal in supporting Kingsbury as OC. That kind of endorsement from your franchise quarterback isn't something you ignore. What makes this even more fascinating is the dynamic between Minter and Kingsbury. Right now, there's no official word on who Minter would pick as OC if hired. That's the missing puzzle piece. What is Minter's offensive vision? Can it align with what Lamar Jackson and the locker room want? Interestingly, sources suggest that if Anthony Weaver were to land the job, Kingsbury would likely be his offensive coordinator. That's a huge deal. The players clearly like that pairing. So, do the Ravens give the job to someone who already has a Kingsbury plan in place, or do they gamble on Minter and hope his OC choice satisfies the locker room? It's a delicate dance. Fans know how critical the OC position is, especially with a generational talent like Lamar Jackson under center. The wrong fit can stall an offense. The right one can unlock another MVP season. The Ravens front office has to weigh Minter's defensive pedigree, his experience, his discipline, his success turning units around, against the uncertainty of who he'd bring with him to lead the offense. Minter is being compared to Macdonald for good reason. He's methodical, he's respected, and he's turned defenses into smart, aggressive, and cohesive units. He would undoubtedly maintain Baltimore's defensive identity. But what happens on the other side of the ball? That's what makes this moment so pivotal. The Ravens aren't just hiring a coach, they're choosing a direction. They're deciding who guides Lamar Jackson. And when your star quarterback is this involved, it's a clear message to ownership. Get this right. Meanwhile, the Ravens are also doing something they rarely do. They're blocking lateral moves. Chris Horton, Anthony Levine, and special teams coach Randy Brown have all been locked in. If they aren't leaving for promotions, they're staying. Baltimore is protecting the foundation of their staff, showing that while change is coming, they want continuity too. That's telling. But back to the decision at hand, Jesse Minter is still in the building. No official word on an offer. And it's not just Minter or Weaver anymore. Other candidates could be available next week. Clint Kubiak is an intriguing name at the top of the Ravens list. Also in the mix, Chris Shula, Nate Shilhasa, and Davis Webb. If the Ravens wait, they open the door to fresh perspectives and innovative minds. But they risk losing their top target. If they act now, they secure a Macdonald-style leader and start assembling a staff immediately. It's a tough call. The Ravens are known for playing the long game. But with coaching dominoes falling quickly, Mike McDaniel to the Chargers, Brian Flores re-signing with Minnesota, opportunities are closing. Let's pick up right where we left off. If Jesse Minter becomes the next head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, one of the biggest decisions he'll have to make, and fast, is naming his offensive coordinator. That role carries enormous weight. This isn't just about X's and O's. It's about maximizing Lamar Jackson's prime, keeping the locker room energized, and ensuring the team doesn't take a step back in a loaded AFC. That's where Cliff Kingsbury enters the spotlight. According to trusted insider Diana Rossini, Lamar Jackson and Ravens wide receivers have made it clear Kingsbury is their preferred choice to run the offense. Lamar has been vocal, so have his receivers. They're not just making noise, they're actively involved in interviews, speaking with decision makers, and backing Kingsbury as the guy who can elevate this offense. Now, let's unpack that. Kingsbury is known for high-octane starts. He's creative. He's aggressive. He's tailored offenses around dynamic quarterbacks before Johnny Manziel, Patrick Mahomes in college, and Kyler Murray in the NFL. The thought of him scheming plays for Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and potentially a returning Rashad Bateman or other weapons, it's mouth-watering. But the hesitation is real. Kingsbury's offenses tend to start fast and flame out. That's the concern. Just look at his history: bright early success, followed by defensive adjustments, and then stagnation. There's a pattern, and Ravens fans know all too well the pain of inconsistent offensive performance, especially when it matters most. That's the dilemma. If Anthony Weaver becomes head coach, sources say Kingsbury would almost certainly be his offensive coordinator. That would please the locker room, no question. But would it be sustainable? Would it be strategic? Or simply short-term flash? With Jesse Minter, we still don't know who his OC would be. That's the biggest unknown in this coaching process. Minter's strength is defense, no doubt about it. He's a meticulous strategist in the mold of Mike McDonald, a cerebral coach who builds disciplined, pressure-heavy defenses. But unless he reveals a rock-solid OC plan that matches Kingsbury's appeal or exceeds it, that could become a sticking point. And here's the brutal truth. No matter how good Minter is on defense, if his offense can't keep pace in this AFC, the Ravens will stall out again in the postseason. There's another risk. If Kingsbury does become OC and succeeds wildly, there's a strong chance he gets plucked away for a head coaching job in a year or two. That's the nature of the NFL, which means you could be back to square one, trying to stabilize the offense all over again. That's the real risk of hiring a defensive head coach. You create a revolving door at OC. But here's the upside. If Minter gets it right and finds the right offensive coordinator who clicks with Lamar, you get the best of both worlds. A relentless defense with a scheme and culture that doesn't need rebuilding every year, paired with a dynamic offense that can actually sustain momentum throughout a full season and playoff run. That's what the Ravens are hoping for. But it's not just about names. It's about vision, execution, and buy-in from top to bottom. Meanwhile, back behind the scenes, the Ravens are continuing to take protective steps. Blocking lateral staff moves, especially Chris Horton's, to prevent a talent exodus to New York where John Harbaugh now resides shows they're serious about maintaining continuity. Anthony Levine and Randy Brown are likely to stay, pending the new hire, and those are smart moves. They're culture keepers. And in a period of transition, keeping the culture strong is critical. This whole process is a tightrope walk. The Ravens want a fresh voice, but not chaos. They want to empower Lamar, but they also need to build a sustainable system that won't collapse after one season of success. They want to please the locker room, but not at the expense of long-term strategy. And at the center of it all, Jesse Minter. Still in the building, still interviewing, still unconfirmed. So what happens next? Do the Ravens take the plunge, lock in Minter, and trust him to build around Lamar? Or do they wait it out, meet with Kubiak, Webb, and Shula next week, and possibly end up empty-handed if Minter signs elsewhere? This is the crossroads, the moment that could define the next 5 years of Baltimore football. Do they bet on the defensive continuity Minter brings, or chase offensive upside with someone else? Drop a like if you enjoyed this deep dive, and if you haven't yet, subscribe for more Ravens content. Hit that bell so you don't miss the next update, and check out the videos on screen right now to stay locked in with all things Ravens. The future is being decided now. Let's see how it unfolds.